I'm Renée Auer. I am the Vice President of Membership and Sales at Haven, which is the Home Builders Association Vancouver. I have been with the association since 2002. We, as an association, were officially incorporated in 1974. We celebrated 50 years last year. We are now at about 1,100 members, a very diverse group of industry professionals for the residential construction industry. We represent the Lower Mainland here in British Columbia, and our members do more than 65% of the building just in this, province alone. And an association that advocates, connects, and educates. We advocate, we connect people, we educate, and we also provide leadership opportunities. And these are so important to anybody who is looking to have a career really in anything. But in terms of the Home Building Association, I think it's very important. We as an industry represent a lot of the GDP of this province because we are a local group, although we are tied to a provincial and national organization, and each has their thing that they do. But in terms of the local, and given how many municipalities there are in the Lower Mainland, there is no one better than us, quite frankly, in terms of residential construction. And when you join a group like Haven, you are ensconced in everything that is residential construction. And it is so important that somebody advocate for the industry as a collective voice, right? Like, if you're only a few people and you're going, once in a while here and there, that will never have the same impact. There's a whole organization that's behind you, right? And we have a number of members who help us advocate on behalf of the industry. It's not just us. We don't just come up with an idea and say, oh yeah, that's a good one. We involve the membership in all of this sort of thing. And then another thing about the industry is, you can't do it alone. No man is an island, said John Donne. And that is so true of this industry, right? The only way you're going to be able to get a little bit further ahead is by connecting, not just with other people who are builders, say, for instance, but how about your trades? How about your suppliers? Everybody brings some kind of perspective that somebody can use. And then in terms of education, and particularly, in British Columbia, there is a lot of momentum for building green, building smarter, building cleaner, and so on. And the only way you can keep ahead of this stuff is by organizations such as ours, because we have people at the Step Code Council and, Built Green and so on. And we try to amalgamate this information so that everybody knows what's going on. And then leadership, eventually people want to better themselves, right? Everybody would like, particularly if you have a strong interest in whatever industry that you are in. I mean, everyone wants to do better. Everyone wants to be a bit of a leader, right? So we offer many opportunities for people to do that as well within the association. And I personally have been, since almost 24 years, I can give you all these wonderful success stories of people who said, yeah, I get it. And then they get to be a part of it. And they really, they enjoy their careers, right? Because you got to be here in life to enjoy what you're doing as well. Absolutely. So that's kind of us in a nutshell in that regard. Yeah. Collaboration, I think, going forward, given everything that's going on in the world in terms of technology, politics, tariffs, you name it, when you are an industry and you want to have things happen so that they go your way, there's only one way to do it, and that is to collaborate. Sometimes, even though you're a person's competitor, even if you're maybe a sort of kind of a competitor, regardless, when we go as an industry as one, then we can make sure things happen. Governments do not listen if you're just one or two people. They don't care. At least not, in this particular political environment. Could be different elsewhere. And then we have a national and provincial group that are also kind of in on things as well. We've had a number of success stories in terms of certain GST rebates, for instance, when we were able to get a tariff taken off of some drywall that was coming into the country. But we could only do that when everybody works together and is willing to be on the same page. Again, we don't just come up with ideas necessarily to help the industry. We look to our members to say, hey, have we thought about this? Could we do that? And then we find the perfect sort of advocates or voices, and we just bring them all together. I think times today dictate even more that you gotta work as one. You need to be that voice out there saying, hey, it's just not working. Can we not find a solution or something that will work better for everyone? Because in the end, when the home building business does well, everybody does well. It's not just the builders. It's not just the suppliers. It's everybody. The real estate people, the furniture people, the home decor, everybody is doing well when the building industry is doing well. And I think that is something we forget sometimes. I never forget it, because when we are doing well, we are all doing well. That question is just not as easy to answer as it seems. And I'll tell you why. Of course, it's my perspective, but I'm not the only person who thinks this. The pace of change today way exceeds the pace of change 20 years ago. Seriously. There is so much information. Your builder isn't just a builder anymore. It's not just putting up this frame and then all the things inside and around. There is so much stuff to know in terms of technology, meeting various step code rules. I mean, it's to me frightening. And honestly, I love the building business, but I could never be a builder. I don't think I could ever keep up with everything. So when you're a part of our organization, part of what we do to help people is to educate. And we do the best we can at all levels of our association to help people get certified, to keep people abreast of what they need to know to keep their building license in force, and then at the national level with net zero and so on. And, it's daunting for these guys. We put out a government relations report every week so that people can know what's going on, because here, different municipalities want to have different things. And sometimes it's like, you'll hear builders go, well, last week they said I could do this, and now they're saying I have to do that, right? So you have to keep on top of things. And what better way than an association that tries to put it all together for you in either a weekly or monthly basis. And quite frankly, one of the bonuses to being with our association, you really need help, you can pick up the phone and ask. We'll try and help. We always want to try and help, but technology is it's mind-blowing to me. And, I embrace technology, but in the building business, everybody, you have to be on top of it. There is no more, the old days where you put up a little post with your nail and said, hey, I'm Joe Builder. No, you've got to be more than just that. You have to understand everything, all the building science, and then you have to bring your trades in with you so that they also understand, because they also have to learn and bring up the standards, right? It's very much a all in it together kind of process. And we as an association, we're trying to always find ways to get that information out there and also provide it where we can. Even more than before, when I first started in life, okay, I thought, I'm going to go in marketing, right? And I actually went into marketing research. And the first thing I did is I joined an association, because I thought, I'll meet like-minded people and, I'll get more information and stuff. And you know what? I was right. And over the years, I always made a point, whatever career I was in, to join various organizations and groups. And even today, I still love to go to one-day conferences and so on to learn some new techniques and strategies. And I think today for a lot of the home building business, regardless if you're the builder or the trade or the service professional, like say a lawyer or an accountant, I think anytime you're in an association where an association values growth, values the ability to help you grow, values, being able to give you the tools that you need to help you grow, I say you need to take advantage of these things. All these things, add up to being successful in what you do, period. You cannot, seriously, no man is an island, said John Donne. And I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but it's true. You cannot just work alone. It is not possible anymore. We're too interconnected, with technology and computers and cell phones and all the rest of it. You have to be with like-minded people and trying to do like-minded things. Doesn't mean you can't be a rebel once in a while and, not have a different idea. But without it, how do you grow? Like, you need to know people. You just never know. Like, I have contacts galore. I don't know everybody, although they will tell you, Renee knows everybody. It's not true, but I try really hard to always remember anything and anyone that could help me later. Like, I keep sort of a database of things going because it's so important. You never know. And that's the thing. What puts people ahead? It's who you know, or where you can go at least and get the information so you can do what it is that is necessary. The biggest challenge for the home building industry is uncertainty. There is a lot of uncertainty right now. And it is from many different areas in terms of the economy, world politics, everything. It's just uncertainty. And the home building business does not like uncertainty, like most businesses, okay? So the challenge and the opportunity is to try and figure out a way to keep ahead of everything, right? How do you do that? You have to talk to people. You have to be involved in some way. And when you're part of an association, hopefully you can build some kind of resilience to what is happening, that you can find a way to go, oh, that's a good idea. How about I divert some of my energies to this instead for now, right? So like, for instance, when in another time frame when new builds weren't going so well, a lot of these custom builders became renovators and very good renovators, right? And then when they could start doing custom homes again, they thought, okay, well, we'll keep the renovation side to it, but now we're going to go back and do some more of, our new builds. And some of that is happening now, okay? And then the other challenge is finding more people to come into the business because, everyone wants to retire eventually and enjoy some of their time with their grandkids and so on, right? And so we as an association, we're trying to foster people to want to be a part of the business, to want to grow as a business. I am proud to say that even in my tenure, I've had the great opportunity to watch some of the companies that I originally recruited, and now they've got a second generation of the family working in there, right? It gives me such pride and joy, honestly. It's just lovely. And we need more of that fostering and collaboration. And then they're the ones who take up, other leadership positions, and then they're helping to foster that. So yes, there's a lot of uncertainty, but if you can be kind of like in a family or in an area where you know that what you do has meaning and impact, you will get through it so much better than when you're all by yourself, right? I mean, let's hit that easy button some way.